Retirement isn't guaranteed, it's earned. Hey guys, this is Vladimir Nemchinov with InvestSteady.com. Welcome to another live. Today we're talking about the retirement. Social Security was never meant to carry you. It was designed as a supplement. Average benefits are nowhere near most people's current spending. If that's your only plan, it's not a plan. If your retirement plan is hope, that is not a strategy. All right, we're gonna just get right to it. This is a very touchy subject, if I say so myself. When we're young, we don't worry about it. We worry about now. When we get older, it is harder to take advantage of compounding, and so a lot of people struggle. One of the lives before, I was looking into my Social Security. You can go to socialsecurity.gov, ssa.gov, I believe, and you can actually look at your actual Social Security payments. And then if you changed your income, I think I was playing with this, and at my current, I can't remember numbers now, but basically my Social Security would be less than half, I believe, of what I'm bringing in right now, maybe like a quarter. I will not be able to survive on it currently, even with at my current expense rate. Then even if I take out mortgage, which you're supposed to pay off your you should have no debt for sure by retirement, for sure. But if you follow the wealth game, then you're not only going to be out of debt by retirement, but you also will build a good nest egg. But for those of us who have not started yet, this is the live about that. Okay. Excuse me. So thank you guys for joining. It's exciting. It's finally Friday. For those of you who pay attention to that, my days are structured in a way that I do stuff for myself. I do it on the side. So Saturday, for example, tomorrow I have 3 showings first thing in the morning. I'll try to schedule Saturday stuff on Saturday first thing in the morning, like 9 a.m. tomorrow. This way I don't have a temptation to sleep in. Okay, and then my Saturday is longer rather than sleep half a day and then Saturday is shorter. So the holiday or the weekend is shorter because of that. All right, so let's look at some questions regarding the retirement. The point of this is questions from Reddit. Okay, nobody asked me them, but this is where I go for my questions to see what people ask, people in real life, what questions they ask. And today we're going to be talking about retirement. First question: mother-in-law is going to have to live on 1,700 Social Security. My mother-in-law was manipulated by brother-in-law. Okay, I'm gonna skip the first paragraph. It's just a lot of drama. Going to have to live entirely on Social Security, $1,700. This is what is direct deposited to her account after whatever else comes out of Social Security is paid. In addition, she gets $1,000 a year from an old IRA. $1,000 a year. That's $100. It's $80 a month. So $80 a month. That means she has $8,000 in there. No. 80,000? I'm not sure. My math is off apparently. So 80,000, 1% would be 800. Less than that even. Anyways, she doesn't have money. And the point is she's going to be living on $1,700. Imagine yourself living on $1,700 a month. She's 74. The point of this exercise. Okay, so expenses or anything glaring we're missing. Cable internet 100. For sure she cannot afford this. The median electric 150. Wow, it's a lot. Water, rent 1,000. Renter's insurance 25. Cell phone 50. There's cheaper options for cell phone. 50 is too much. Car property tax. We don't have that in Ohio. Car insurance, car gas. She's driving at 74. Whew. Car upkeep, Virginia natural gas, grocery on top of food pantry, 216. She's gonna be spending $216 on food, and they basically telling her to go to grocery to pantry every month. Household 20, medical copay, medication. So this is an example of somebody who is at 74 has to live or survive on $1,700 because they planning on finding a rent for $1,000 in Virginia. Apparently it's expensive. So think about that. That 74-year-old woman, she did not think about this. She did not think that she's gonna have to survive on $1,700 a month. This is her Social Security. Again, this should be a reminder for us to like, what are we're worrying about now: kids, sports, school, work, house, cars, all this. We do worry about that. We work for that. We work on that. We try to improve our lives. But if we don't think about the future, nobody's gonna think for us. Okay, Social Security was supposed to be a supplement. That's feeble attempt of government to help out people who cannot afford retirement, essentially. And to me, that sounds horrible. My parents are aging; they overseas. My mother-in-law, she is getting to that age, actually closer to that age. And if you have no money, you have no money. You can't afford this. You can't be. You can't. You barely can survive. I don't know. It's gonna be hard, and let alone thrive. So that's what we want to talk about today. Okay, why people do not have retirement. Inconsistency destroys compounding. People invest when markets are up. They panic when markets drop. They pause contributions where life gets tight. Compounding requires time and discipline. The market rewards patience. It punishes emotions. So this is how market works, right? And it's fueled by emotions. People think, oh no, COVID starting, everything's gonna go down. There will be no toilet paper, and everybody starts selling all the investments. Market goes down, and then they're afraid. Market goes up, inches up, but it's still scary. We don't know what the future is, and we do not invest the money. A lot of people lost a lot of money during COVID, not because they took out when the market went down, but because they did not invest before market went up. Okay, so this is what happens. So market goes the way you see me, right? Left to right. It goes and it dips. People, if it dips 1%, nobody notices. If it dips 10%, okay, people notice. If it dips 20%, at that point, people lost 20%. Okay, now for them to get 20% is gonna be at least 2 years of 10% returns. So now they lost that. From there, now they hold it, and market goes up. When it goes up, when market is booming, that's when people invest, and this is backwards. Okay, and that's why it's so complicated and so hard for people to do, because they act on emotion. Market down, I'm selling. Market up, I'm buying. But you end up selling when it's the lowest and buying when it's the highest, which is opposite of what you want to do. But better yet, not even timing the market, it's time in the market. So put it in there and let it ride through ups and downs. Let it ride, let it compound. And that's what it was saying, that you're losing on the compounding if you take it out and put it in. Don't try to time the market. Put the money that you not gonna rely on right now for retirement only, that it sits there and it grows. Let's look at another question. It's not gonna be fun questions today, guys. Barely getting by on Social Security. My husband and I are 78 and 79, almost 80 years old. We are trying to survive on 2,000 Social Security a month between us. Can you believe that? My father-in-law, before he passed a year ago, or a little over a year ago now, his Social Security, I think, was under $1,000, like 600, 650 or whatever. By the time he came to the country, by the time all his contributions, he was working low paying jobs. So he put a little bit in Social Security, so he was getting a little bit in return. And these are the things that cause him to get small Social Security. So this is almost 80-year-old couple getting $2,000 a month. I mean, I don't know what city you live in. I live in Cleveland, Ohio. $2,000 for two people? I don't even know if you can find rent for half of that, and let alone other expenses. Our house is paid off. Ooh, that's good. We have 40,000 in savings, but I'm afraid that will run out since I have to keep taking money out to make ends meet. Trying to figure out what to do. Is a HELOC the way to go? We also have 13K loaned for a new AC that we had to put in, 2,500 in credit card debt, and 6,000 in care credit debt. Also, our credit rating is in 800s. Looking for suggestions. Oh my goodness, if you were my parents, right? You are in very tough situation. 800 credit. What's the point of that? For you to borrow more money? Is that an option? You already have so much debt. You have paid off house, but HELOC. Who knows how long you're gonna live? Maybe you live to 100. If your income is not increasing, you cannot afford that payment on HELOC, right? So this is a very hard situation, and if my parents were in this situation, it would be heartbreaking. Because for me to help even my parents, that means I'm gonna take the money from my kids, from our family, right? So it's not more even. Grandparents generally love their grandkids, okay? But if you a grandparent or you're a parent right now and you expect your kids to provide for your retirement, this is very selfish. This is very selfish. You're taking from their family, and it's not about they paying you back. Yes, you gave them life, and I'm grateful to my parents for that. They gave you life. They raised you. They raised you, but it doesn't mean you owe them because of that. This is their job. This is their thing. They gave you life. They decided to have kids. It's not like you owe them now for that. And now from then on, they were making choices every day. Where they're gonna live, what they're gonna drive, what they're gonna eat. Okay, and then if you see your parents are wasting money and then expect you to then provide for them in their retirement, I think this is plain selfish. And again, Bible says that the wise man leaves. What does it say? Leaves inheritance for children's children. Okay, so I want to be a wise person. Do you want to be a wise person? Okay, this is what the Bible calls wise. All right, so here's the. It's less of a question that I can answer and more of an example for you and me, you and I. What can happen when you're 78 and 79 and you do not have any retirement? They don't have any retirement. They paid off their house. Praise God. That's a big thing. That means they don't have rent right now, right? But they still have to pay taxes, and taxes are not $1,000 a year. I mean, again, depending where they live, but even here in Cleveland, taxes could be from $2,000 and up. So that's almost $200 a month. So out of $2,000, tenth already goes towards the taxes. Okay, obviously there's more expenses. You and I know that. It's another heartbreaking example of people in their later years in life with nothing. They have a house. Not that it's nothing. I'm not downsizing that at all, downplaying that at all. But yes, you have a house, which is good. We should all have paid off property by retirement for sure. But now you can't make it on $2,000 even with paid house, especially with so many loans and credits. And there's only one equation or option for this math problem. It's you have to bring more income. How do you bring more income? You have to work. You're 78, 79, and you have to go to Walmart, stand there to make money, to make ends meet. All right, guys. is hard stuff, hard stuff. Okay, another reason why people will not retire, they skip the order. They try investing before killing debt. They don't build emergency fund. They don't budget. So every setback wipes out progress. That is the that's the point of the wealth game. Every level is first level is first, it's not third, and third level is not first, it's third. They're in this order for this reason. So if you go out of order, for example, let's say you don't have a budget, right? If you don't have a budget, it's hard for you to even know what to do with money or where money goes. You're probably hemorrhaging money and you don't even know where and how, because you just 20 here, 20 there. Now, second step is protection. Imagine you have no protection, right, for your income. Something happens to me. It doesn't matter if I was saving for the last 5 years, $100 a month, $1,000 a month. It's not gonna make a big, really difference in our family income if I pass and my income does not come in anymore. Okay, it's gonna be much harder for my wife to survive now. Even if I, like I said, $1,000 is 12, 5 years. That's $60,000. It's a 1 year. She'll be okay for 1 year with that money, and that's it. Okay, so that's why the protection is step number 2. Regardless of where you are financially, you need to free up money so you can protect your income in case something happens in a month or 2 and a year. Then you set up a small emergency fund, and then you start paying off all the debt. Because if you don't do that and you're paying off all the debt and you have zero in your emergency fund, then you have a flat tire, right? A couple $100 here, a couple $100 there. What you're gonna do? You're gonna go in debt, and that's what it's set up to avoid. Is avoid going back into debt, like these people, right? They're trying to figure out HELOC, go in more debt. Yes, you'll have more money right now, but then your payments are increased, and every month for who knows how long you will be making those payments. Now, let's see, I lost my train of thought. The order. So now when you pay off your debt, then you create emergency fund. Why? Why not just invest 15% from then on? Because if something happens, again, something major happens, you don't have emergency fund. You'll have to go in debt, and then you start that cycle again. So order is very important. Okay, it doesn't matter where you are, like in this situation. Even in this situation, order is important. Obviously, we don't know how long they will live. They're almost 80 years old. But it doesn't help them to live, to have more peace if they die in 2 years. It doesn't matter. They still need to live right now, and it's, I'm sure, stressful for them. All right, let's look at next question. 70-year-old father-in-law in Ohio on Social Security after car accident. How to stop financial bleeding. Location, Ohio. Age 73. Income $2,400 a month. Social Security. Hey, single guy, $2,400. This is already a step up for sure. Okay, so he was driving a vehicle and lift, and he got an accident. Blah blah blah. Concerns, questions, Ohio, additional details. So basically, again, they're helping him. Your main expenses are condo with fees, $1,200 a month. Oh man, second mortgage. Oh man, $300. See, if he didn't have a mortgage on the condo, prescription $425 in medical debt. He also has utilities and such. So, like for example, if he didn't have condo, right? Mortgage, 2 mortgages at that, he would be able to probably survive by paying HOA. I don't know, like depending where in Ohio he is. I'm looking at condos, for portfolio, and I see condo HOA fees from 200 and up. All right, so obviously it's crazy. Sometimes you see a condo for sale for $400, but the HOA fee is like $1,000. Like, I don't want even that condo for free. So here again, if he set it up, if he paid it off, no mortgage in retirement, then he's set. So that's for everybody. You planning on retiring, your retirement is soon. You don't want to be paying mortgage. That's the biggest expense. If you get rid of it, you're done. Good. All right. Another reason why people will not retire, they don't know their retirement number. How much do you need to retire? What is your retirement number? Most people don't know. So your monthly spending times 12. Let's say your monthly spending is 4,000, right? 4,000 times 12 is going to be, let's say, 50. Okay, multiply by 25. Okay, so 50,000 times 25. Let's use calculator. Okay, 50 times 25. Okay, million and a quarter. So that's what you need to have retirement to be able to get $4,000 a month out retirement. All right. So if in doubt, I go by 10% really generally. So if you want $100,000 income, this formula is more conservative. Okay, so about taking 4% out out of your investments. But generally, if historically S&P 500 did 10 to 12% annually, that means if you have $1 million, you should be able to get out $100,000 a year. Okay, so this is how I look at it. So how much do you need? Do you want $100,000 annually? Do you want, because inflation, and who knows, if you're 20 and 40 years, inflation is going to be much greater. But some people say like, oh, $1 million is not going to worth anything. Sure, but if you don't have $1 million, then you don't have it. Yeah, it's not going to work. Excuse me, it's not going to worth as much, but it's better to have it, right? 2 million is not going to be worth as much as it is right now when I'm 40, but I would rather have 2 million than not have it. So this is the number. Come up with a number for yourself. Figure out what your expenses are. Of course, we can't tell the future with all the politics changing all the time, but these are the things that we can be proactive about. All right, let's look at the next one. My wife's retired father only makes $1,000 per month on Social Security, but he pays $110 per month for indemnity insurance. Is this right? Well, I don't know how much. I don't know much about retired and elderly folks, but he has no assets, no income other than $1,000 a month in Social Security, but he makes his payment every month. Is this normal? We live in Massachusetts, so I would assume that under a certain income we wouldn't be responsible for health care because of Medicare. So you assume that, but you don't know. Maybe he's paying it he's not supposed to pay, but like us knowing really doesn't change the fact whether we need to or not. And this is a question obviously for that person, my wife. So I'm assuming it's a guy. So yeah, so he doesn't know that, but his father. The point is, his father is retired father-in-law. So whatever. Let's say he's retired at 62. Okay, he makes $1,000. Maybe he's 72 and he makes $1,000 a month, and living on that in Massachusetts. I don't know much about Massachusetts, but nowhere near Boston you can live on $1,000. So these things are, guys, just examples for all of us to remember that we don't want to be in this situation. We don't want to be greeters in Walmart. Hey, if you are set and this is what you want to do, you want to serve people, you want to be smiling face when we enter Walmart, by all means. If you're bored and you want to do that something on the side, for sure. But I'm afraid, my fear is that most people that I see there, they are not there because they want to socialize, but they're there because they have to work, because they cannot cannot survive on this $1,000, $2,000. If I had to survive on $2,000 right now, it would be very, 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 very modest life. Even if I didn't have mortgage, it would be still like for myself and for my wife. Man, my wife would not be happy. All right, so why people do not retire? They wait too long. They say, I'll start next year. I'll need to make more first. I'll get serious in my 40s. Just turned 40. And about making more. It's so, I like to say, it would be funny if it wouldn't be so sad. My first tenants, right? I remember talking to them about finances 10 years ago, I don't know, 8 years ago. And they would say, oh, we can't budget because we don't make enough money. No, this is when you budget. When you think you don't have enough money, you budget so you know where money goes. Because you don't have enough money for budget, but you have pizza delivered to you. Um, anyway, so I've heard that one. Time is the most powerful asset, and it's the one you can't replace. So the time that money is growing, you can't catch up when you're 60. You have to, like, there's really no compounding at 10%. How much money you need to put in, and if you have that much money to put in into retirement, then you have money. But the point is that most people don't. You know, if you start in your 20s and you put $100 a month, you will have $1 million by retirement just from $100 a month. For me, $100 a month will make, I can't remember, like 300,000 maybe. Okay, so for me to have $1 million, I need to max out my Roth IRA at about $700 a month or $7,000 a year. Okay, so the time is the most powerful asset. That's why I'm telling you, take advantage of previous year. If you did not pay your taxes yet, if you did not submit your taxes yet, max out your Roth IRA for yourself or your spouse for last year. That's another $7,000 I will be making and growing, starting right now. They will be growing until your retirement. Even in retirement. Delay is the most expensive financial decision you'll ever make. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll get to it next year. January 1st, I'll start. In my 40s, I will start. In my 50s, I will start. In my 55, I will start. At 60, it's too late. And don't get me wrong. If you're at 60, you made those choices through the years until you became 60, right? So now you can't like undo it. And what you're gonna do? You'll have to work longer. But you still can do this. You can still take advantage of this tax-free growth, but you'll have less time for it to grow. But what other options do you have? If you can't retire, you can't retire. Retirement is not age. It's that number. If you have that much money, okay, then you can retire. It doesn't matter if you're 40 or you're 80. You have to work until you have that number so you can retire. Otherwise, you are working. Let's not be in that place. I'm not promoting retirement. I'm enjoying work. I like doing what I'm doing here, and I like what I'm doing with my day job. I like investing. I like playing Monopoly in real life. I kind of like it, to tell you the truth. So, if you are watching this and you are unsure where you stand, it's not something you ignore. Do not ignore this. If you don't know where your retirement be, what your number is, how to get there, do not ignore it. Let's look into your numbers and let's see where you are and what's the next steps. Thank you guys for joining me on this live. I appreciate you. Most people will not retire because they have not decided to. They assume that retirement will happen, but it didn't happen for these people. Well, it did, but now they're struggling. What level are you on, guys, in the wealth game?